Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I try to bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the industry, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Dan McDuffie, the GM of Mobility for Granite Telecommunications, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Dan is a growth and strategy leader with over 25 years' experience in the telecom space, joining Granite in 2017 to run a newly formed wireless business unit, initially focused on fixed wireless, but then branching out into managed mobility. And today, it accounts for over 20% of the overall revenue growth. Dan, welcome to the Top Gun Show.
Hey, Steve. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, nice to have you on. Well, tell us a little bit about Granite's wireless practice and what sets Granite apart as a wireless MSP.
Yes, happy to. As you mentioned, I joined a newly formed wireless business unit in 2017. So we're a little over 5 years into this business, and it's become really one of the fastest growing pieces of Granite's growth. Granite is close to $2 billion in revenue. We accounted for, actually, it was well over 20%. It was closer to 40% of the revenue growth of Granite last year was a wireless technology. And again, as you mentioned, we really started kind of in the fixed wireless business. We're a big partner with Cradlepoint. We've won Cradlepoint Service Provider of the Year the past 3 years in a row. Now, Cradlepoint being an LTE or 5G gateway that's used for wireless failover or for even wireless primary now using 5G. So that was really the beginning of the business. But then we branched out into an enterprise mobility practice in addition to that. So handsets and tablets across all of the carriers in the United States, or the tier one carriers in the United States, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, as well as having connectivity with the carriers in Canada, really kind of as an end-to-end MSP, right? So we have kind of a broad platform across all of the wireless carriers through a single bill, single throat to choke, single platform across all of those carriers into our enterprise customer base. And then finally, we've added POTS line replacement, which is also a wireless gateway product that we use now with our acquisition of Epic, which was a couple of years ago. Also falls within the wireless business unit. So really, the differentiator with Granite is across multiple carriers and a broad service provider that has multiple products from fixed wireless gateways to POTS line replacement to managed wireless mobility.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great recap. And congratulations, 40% of new business each year coming in that way. That's incredible after you being there for just 5 years. That's amazing. I remember I interviewed Steve Olson with Epic. And I think a couple of years ago, I don't know when it was, but right after I interviewed him, you guys bought him. So that product is extremely unique and very different from anything else on the market. But that's for another time. Well, let's talk about, what do you see as the future of enterprise mobile? Where's that headed?
Right. So, kind of break our business down into those different sectors and putting aside the gateway business. Really, more and more companies are utilizing mobility as part of their, a kind of an integral part of their practice, especially with, field service and with work from home, and more and more workers are utilizing mobile devices, handsets, and tablets as a critical piece of them doing business, right? And especially in field service. And the big big area for a wireless MSP in my view is around providing the logistics that enterprise customers need in order to manage their day-to-day wireless kind of estate, so to speak. It's become with the necessity to have mobile security as a piece of your business, i.e., making sure that your corporate data is being protected. And the recycling of the devices in and out of a company's life cycle management and enterprise mobility has become really, really important. And in this era, especially kind of in the economic cycle we're in suddenly, you have less and less resources on the enterprise side, in order to kind of manage these things. So a big part of what Granite supplies to our customer base is this kind of end-to-end solution, around being able to help a company to manage their rate plans, to manage multiple carriers across those, the spectrum, right, from Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Rogers in Canada as an example, or Telus in Canada, all under one roof, and then with kind of this added value or layer, over the top of managed services. So it's really becoming more of a managed services, story. And we've seen that resonate with our customer base.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously,
Especially in field service, Steve, right? Especially in
yeah,
areas where you have lots of people out in the field. So
yeah.
so that's become a key piece for us.
Got it. Got it. What other trends do you see in regard to wireless technologies?
So I'd say 5G, right, is the kind of the killer app now, right? So that's where now with the availability of 5G getting more and more pervasive across the United States and Canada, and the speeds increasing now to the point where they can rival the speeds of cable, and other broadband, dedicated broadband or DIA. We're now seeing all of the carriers get very aggressive on 5G fixed wireless, and that's again an area where Granite has, as a partner of Cradlepoint and other LTE and 5G gateway companies, provides again an end-to-end managed service around 5G fixed wireless, now being used as primary access or as part of your SD-WAN solution, where you might use wired for for your primary access, but you have load balancing over wireless. Wireless 5G for primary also, it's a big opportunity for pop up. A company needs to open up a location quickly and they can't, broadband construction is going to take too long. We're seeing temporary primary, or we're seeing primary in kind of more rural areas being done over wireless. So it's a big growing trend. And I think that's going to, those areas that kind of manage mobility, the 5G fixed wireless and POTS line replacement, is really where we see the future growth of Granite's wireless business practice kind of across those three sectors.
Love it, love it. Good points there. Well, Dan, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show, and then I know there are millions and millions of people watching you right now. Why don't you tell the viewers a fun little known fact about yourself?
Well, since I'm kind of on video now, I'd say a fun fact is one of my best friends starred in a TV show called The Shield some years ago. His name is Michael Chiklis, and I was actually on that show as an extra. I played an Armenian thug in an episode of The Shield, season 3. So.
Well, okay. You know what? Send me the episode number, the season number. I'll post it in the bottom of this, and we'll drive this so that episode goes sky high, man.
I'll tell you what. I'll have to dig through the archives for that, but I'll see what I can do.
So you were a thug.
Armenian thug. 2 seconds on 2 seconds on camera. Although I spent a lot of time on set as usual, right? So
I love it. That's great. Well, Dan, I'll let you get back to work. You're doing a great job at Granite. I'm a huge fan of Granite and everything you guys are doing from the top to the bottom of the organization. Thanks for carving out time out of your busy schedule to be on the Top Gun show, man. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Steve. Thanks very much.
Thanks for watching, everybody.